fond of in the past 2 years. I mean, the first time I ever seen Bambi Adams, we was at a car show in Renfro Valley. And Jessica went and picked a whole bunch of people up from Sky Hope, and you was one of them. You know, you had long hair then, you know.
Yeah, I remember them days.
And then I just kept running into her and kept running into her, and I seen her on recovery radio. And then the guy who run my rehab was supposed to give his testimony at my 1-year celebration in AA. Well, he bailed on me, and Jessica asked Bambi, and she come through like a champion, like just like she did today. And here we are, Bambi Adams.
I gotta get a chair because you know I can't sit still, so I gotta set my book in. I'm just gonna get this one. It looks like it's free from the rest of them. Let me mess up. Okay, is this far enough back?
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good.
Okay, good. Good. Yeah, he called me or messaged me about, I don't know, a few hours ago. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Because you know why? Because let me tell you something. God gave me that car out there. If I don't get in it and go somewhere and do something for the Lord, then what am I doing with my life? Am I not? See, I'm not telling people about Him, the one that saved me, right? Amen. So I might as well get in the car and come on over. I'd rather tell you all about what God's done for me anyway. My name's Bambi. I'm a recovering alcoholic, firm believer in Jesus Christ. I know God saved me and I know it. Okay, and I'm going to explain it to you here in just a little bit. Okay. First what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what it was like back in the day, okay? My sobriety date is 9/28/18, and by the grace of God and great sponsorship, I get to be here today. And great sober support, for real. 22 years I was in the madness. 22 years, yes, I was high. You couldn't trust me with telling you I was going to walk down the sidewalk without robbing 6 houses down on the way. And that's just the truth about it. If I was talking to you, I was talking to you for a reason. It wasn't because I liked you. It was because I was getting ready to rob you. You know? I'm just going to tell you the truth. Is that okay? I'm going to tell you the truth. My mom was an alcoholic. My dad, he was in the military. My dad was a very strict man. But I guess that's how he was raised. I've learned that in my recovery, not to blame everybody. But my dad was very strict. He wanted me to do things just so. And my mom was an alcoholic. So she really kind of just put me in different spots. I went with her a lot as a kid. I love my mom. Now, I'm not bashing my mom. She did put me in bad situations because she was an alcoholic. And I've learned that growing in recovery. She would take me to the motel rooms with her, you know what I mean? And I went through some things at a very young age that I shouldn't have went through. She'd leave me in these motel rooms and I'd come out with money. I was 7 years old and she acted like she probably didn't know much about it, but I know that she did. But I also know that when I brought her money, it made her happy, right? So I registered success in that aspect. I just wanted to make my mom happy, so I brought her the money and everything was good, and so I continue to do this, right? I go in these rooms and I come back out and give my mom the money. Well, that went on till about the age of 12. You know, and about the age of 12, my friends, all my little friends, they came over and they had some alcohol. And you know, I had never really drank. I had seen it a lot. I'd seen druggies a lot. But when I tried it, it set a flame in my tail. You hear me? I was like, wow, this is new. You know what I mean? It allowed me to be anybody you needed me to be. I could be anybody you needed me to be. I could be any of those people, right? As long as you had that drug or the alcohol at that point. So I continued to drink. It was a beautiful thing. It was, because I didn't have to hide. You know what I mean? Just except for my grandma, and I'll tell you about her. I had to find out about her. I always blamed these men, and in a sense, it wasn't my fault up until that age. But at that age, I kind of got it in my mind, and I said to myself, I'm going to get them. Right? I seen all these old men as people I was coming for. Right? I wasn't looking at them as, you know, I was just looking at them like, I'm going to get you. You know what I mean? Because those were the ones in my mind that had got me, right? So by the age of 13, I put some Xanax in me, you know what I mean? And that gave me the equipped capacity to steal like nobody's business. I don't know about y'all, I did Xanax fast as lightning, son. Okay, I thought I was. Anyway. You know, that just went on for years. I was back and forth with my granny. Anybody ever had a parent, grandparent, somebody prayed for them nonstop and was there for them even when you was awful? Well, that was my mama. She prayed for me no matter what. I come in and I'd be, you know, I love you, mama, all this and that, and I was robbing her. And I'm not proud of it, but I'm telling you the truth about my past, okay? Robbing the very one that loved me most. And I was back and forth. My mom would come and get me, you know, I'm getting my daughter back. And I was like, I'm going with my mom, you know, because that's what I thought was the thing to do. I needed to be with my mom, right? I mean, that's how we grow up. Well, my mama tried her very best to give me a normal, stable life. My dad, like I said, he was in and out in the military. He'd show up, and he, you know, was dating women all here and there. He didn't really have time for us because my granny was raising us. So I just got in with this crew, and they were all super skinny and super sexy, right? And I wanted to be super skinny, super sexy. You know what I mean? Because they were all just, and I was like, God, I need to do that. You know, I didn't know how to. My granny said, baby, we got these diet pills, because she owned a beauty supply shop, so of course that set in my head, you know, very young age. Those pills wasn't working, because I think they were all natural, something like that. Crap. And, they were supposed to be. But anyways, that wasn't working, and I decided, well, I was bulimic. Okay, I started throwing up, and that wasn't helping me to lose weight fast enough either. And then one of my people said cocaine, and I was like, what's that do? Right? And she was like, oh, it just costs, you know, this amount of money and this and that. And I wasn't worried about money because my granny had it. You know what I'm saying? I was like, it's my money. That's how I felt. You know what I'm saying? So I started doing cocaine. And wow, man, I slimmed right up. You know what I'm saying? And but I looked, you know, had 18 tons of mascara on. You know what I'm saying? I was super skinny though. You know? Then all of a sudden my granny, she started kind of, where's my money going? Because all my excuses was kind of going out the window. You know how we do. We tell so many, it's like, oh yeah, I'm joining the band. I never was in a band. But my granny believed I was in a band. You know what I mean? I think $200 for this. You know, just, it was all catching up with me. So she started watching her billfold. Well, then this person told me about just cheaper high. Methamphetamine, right? And Lord have mercy, I'm not good at that. But I did it. And wigged out, was crazy. I mean crazy. Everybody's after me. I don't know why I thought I was so special. I thought everybody was after me. FBI, the CIA. I was like, they're all after me. You know what I mean? My granny, she'd pat on me and love on me until I'd finally fall out because all day. So I wasn't good at it. I wasn't good at it, and I started, it was my senior year. She still didn't know exactly what was going on with me. My grandma didn't. She was just, you know, she loved me, right? She did. And my senior year, I decided to go to, nobody could tell me you couldn't do meth like you could cocaine, because cocaine you could just do it and do it and do it and do it. Meth, that was real then, I don't know what it's like now. It's not real. And so like I overdosed my senior year in high school. I woke up, they said, Bambi, you know where you are? And I was like, I'm in 3rd block. And they was like, no, you're not. You're at Marymount Emergency Room. And I was like, oh, God. You know? I was like, where's my mama at? They said, she's out in the hall. I was like, could you keep her there? You know, I was begging them, please don't let her in here. Please don't let her in. Here she comes. You know that look? You know that look? You're like, oh, God. And so right then and there, I was like, Mama, it's not me. I'm so sorry. I'll never do it again. It was everybody else running with. Right? It had to have been them. They showed me how to do this. I didn't even know it existed. I'm sorry. And what'd she do? Okay. Right? So at that point, I really had never even had any consequences, really. Because my granny, she just always came in and swooped up, saved the day. Made me feel good about it. I could carry on with my drug use. And she didn't know that. She thought that she was just being like a mother and father for me. Right? So probably about 3 weeks. I did pretty good about 3 weeks usually. You know what I mean? About 3 weeks I stayed sober, and then I decided it was time for me to go out and spend time with my friends. And usually about any time I spent time with my friends, when I felt like I needed to go out, and you know, I'd cop a charge or two. And that's what happened. And my very first charge, I went into a gas station that was right beside my house, and this is really embarrassing, so I'm glad it's kind of small in here. It's anonymity, don't tell anybody. But I went in there and I put a bandana over my face. It was bright orange because I used to rock bandanas a lot. I put it over my face, and I went in and I told this lady I had a gun in my pocket and I needed everything she had. She was about 87 years old, and come to find out, she really almost shot me in the chest. I didn't know that. She had a shotgun. People carry them, but I didn't know that. And I didn't take a thing from her. I walked out of the gas station, was like, you know, thought it was a joke, and I left. Well, about 20 minutes later, because like I said, I lived next door to the gas station. I was at home, and I was convincing my grandmother that I was not on drugs. You know, had this great schmeal going on. We about had it squashed. Here comes the state police, and they kicked open my grandma's door, hog-tied me, and took me to jail. Criminal conspiracy to commit robbery in the second at 18 years old. Right? I didn't think it was that serious, you know what I mean? But evidently it was. My granny came in. I was in jail probably about 6 months. Granny got me a big highfalutin lawyer, you know. Told me I paid $10,000 for this lawyer. That's all I heard. That's all I heard. I was like, oh, she don't get off me. Like, you know what I mean? Like she was doing something to me over telling me about this. She got me out of jail with this beautiful thing I didn't even know existed. A pre-trial diversion. Has anybody ever had one of them beautiful things offered to them? I did. To me, it was like a get out of jail free card. They came in, they said, sign this paper and you get to leave today. That's all I heard. There was a bunch of other stipulations, but I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't care about it. I was like, absolutely, I'm leaving today. That's fabulous. Right? So I got out and I was like, yeah, woo, freedom, okay? Granny looked at me about 3 weeks later. She said, baby, she said, I feel like you have a lot of anxiety because you've been in jail for so long, and I feel like you might need to talk to a psychiatrist and maybe get on some nerve medicine. I said, you are absolutely right. You know what I mean? Yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. So, of course, he made me an appointment to go in and see the psychiatrist, and, of course, I walked in there again, you know. You know what I mean? I gave him the schmeal, son. I can't sleep. I don't know what to do with my life. You know, walked out there with a script in it. He gave me a script of nerve pills that, you know, and it didn't have a refill on it. Now, I told you I'm a terrible criminal. If I ever go back out and do not do a crime with me, we are going to jail. Do not do a crime with me, okay? It didn't have a refill circled on it. So, of course, my crazy, brilliant, I decided I was going to circle a refill. Boop, 3, right? Yeah, in the wrong color ink.
Oh.
That's embarrassing, ain't it? Gosh, that's embarrassing. I went in there, though. I went in there and I got my script. Oh, man, I felt like a boss. I had them. They filled them for me just to mess with my mind, make me think I was brilliant. You know what I mean? Came walking out of Thompson's. That's where I went. I don't know if y'all know about Thompson's drugstore. Don't go there either. I came out, just, you know, my granny is surrounded by the police.
Oh.
She's saying, she didn't do it. She just got out, you know. And she looked at me like, baby, tell him. I'm like, I did it. She was like, what is wrong with you? And I was like, I don't know, because honest to God, I did not know what was wrong with me. I didn't know I had a disease of alcoholism. I didn't know any of that stuff. I thought I was just trying to have some fun. People just took me too serious. You know? That's what I thought. Everybody's so serious and tore up. This is a scripted woman, get over it. You know what I mean? But they took it very serious. They took me to jail. My granny mad, oh God, son. Whew. I went to jail, and I had to end up doing my bit that time, you know what I'm saying? Because I did the pre-trial diversion, that miracle thing 3 weeks prior. And they said, well, you got to do your time. So I did 2 years. And the whole time my granny, she just kept sending me commissary money. You know what I mean? I didn't have any, I was laying on noodles, son. I was like the jail mob boss. So I was like, you gonna fluff my mat? Here's a pack of noodles. You know what I mean? I didn't have any consequences. So embarrassing though. I did it, I got out. I was out probably, I don't know, 3 months. This time, it was a lot longer than 3 weeks, so I felt pretty good about it. You know what I mean? 3 months. And everybody wasn't like celebrating my victory. You know what I'm saying? I'd been clean for 3 months. Like, where's the red carpet? What happened to your smiles? You know what I mean? And they were like, baby, you know, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I never did hear them. But it was just, they were always on me. Wanted me to get my life together. Anyways, I decided that I needed to get some money, and I couldn't really steal from my grandma no more because she was pretty much on to me, right? So I had to go out and get some sugar daddies, you know, whatever. Don't act like you ain't never had one. Got me a big sugar daddy, robbed him over and over and over. You know what I mean? He kept taking me back because I love you. you know what I'm talking about. Whatever. So they take me back. Now, finally, he got mad at me one day. He decided to get mad at me. I won't tell you the whole spiel about it, but he got mad. So I wrote some checks. He called the law. Possession of a forged instrument. I went back to jail. My granny tried to pay him off. He wasn't doing it because I done some terrible things to him. I ended up doing that time too. I got out, met this guy, decided I was going to try and, you know, be in a relationship with him for just one night. I had gotten pregnant, and I didn't know I was pregnant. I moved to New York to have this geographical change, right? If I get away from this town, it's going to fix me. You know what I mean? So I moved to New York, and I was running. You know how you do when you get sober? Just, I'm going to get in shape, and I just kept throwing up for like 4 months. And I was like, what is going on with me? This is the longest withdrawal I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? I didn't know. My cousin said, baby, you're pregnant. I was like, excuse me. I was like, no, I'm not. Because then I forgot I just had sex with this guy one time. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, God. Now I remembered. They said, you are pregnant. I did the pregnancy test, you know what I'm saying? But mine, it wasn't the one-line positive, it wasn't none of that. It spelled the word. It said pregnant. You know what I mean? There was no denying it. There was no way that I could be like, wait a minute, pregnant. So I was like, okay, here's my window, right? I'm gonna stay sober for my kid. You know, I'm gonna do this for my child. And my mom called me up while I was living there, and I had a job, and you know what I mean? I was doing the pregnancy thing, just big as a bear, and just loving it. But my mom called me up. And see, I always try to save my mom, remember that? I always want to help my mom. She said, baby, I'm alone in London, and I would like to come. I was like, come on up, I'm a superhero here. You know, I got a home and all types of stuff. And she came up. Well, within like I had my baby within like 3 months' time. My mom ended up getting on crack and robbing the crack dealer, yeah, in the city. So she was bobbing and weaving, and they were still seeing her run. You know what I mean? It was rough. They came and was like shooting up the apartment. Like this was like some real city stuff I didn't know nothing about. So I called my mama. Guess what? She come and saved the day, and she moved us all right back to London. So here I was with my kid, my mom, and my baby, and I was just doing wonderful. And about 3 months, I decided I need to go out again. Well, I went out again, and I caught some more charges. And that's just how it went. I got pregnant again with my daughter. I decided I was going to go to the Independence House and have my daughter, which is a place where it's for pregnant women, because I didn't want to do drugs with my daughter. I was going to try and do it. The whole time, it kept getting a little worse and a little worse. You know what I'm saying? I was shooting up at this point, and it just kept getting harder and harder, and nobody was laughing anymore, and it wasn't a game anymore, you know? So I had my daughter at the Independence House. After I left there, 7 days after the fact, I overdosed and was in ICU. You know what I mean? And it just kept getting worse and worse, and I kept waking up from overdoses. Can you believe that? Kept waking up from them. God wasn't allowing me to die. You know what I'm saying? But I was real confused about it. I didn't know that at the time. I was just like, what is happening? Why can't I get right? Why can't I? You know? My granny got dementia. It was just real hard to see, because somebody who had it together, you know? It was just real hard to watch. Just in and out of jail, staying with sugar daddies. I'd be in jail, and the very last time I went to jail, I remember I was in there and I was talking them foxhole prayers. You know how you do. God, you get me out of this. Right? And I'm going to get out of here and I'm going to start a whole church. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to bring everybody. You know what I'm saying? And by the time I get out, I was like, where are you at? You know, on my phone, where are you at, man? I'm getting out. Right? I forgot all about the big, brilliant church I was building. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I went to this sugar daddy. He invited me back, same one. I don't know. He invited me back, and I had my kids, and I was doing the right things, I thought, you know what I mean? Drinking a lot at this point, because he drank, and so that was what I was allowed to do. So I was drinking. I had my kids, though, and that's what I was feeling pretty good about, but I couldn't keep up with my kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really know my kids, because I'd been in and out, in and out, in and out. And like, so I decided I need to get on meth again so I could keep up with them. It's a terrible idea, but in my mind it was brilliant. So we could play all day, baby. You know what I mean? But I tell you what, I wigged out. This very last time was a real bad time. Okay? I freaked out. And I don't even know where I was going, but I had my babies in a U-Haul. And I was driving them around, and I thought I was going to move my mom. I don't know what I was doing exactly, but I knew I had my babies in a U-Haul for 3 days, just driving around. Saddest thing I can remember. I swear I remember. It's awful. And I decided, my mom called me up. She said, I'm calling social services. And I was like, you're a law caller. You know what I mean? I thought she was a straight devil, because you just don't do that, right? But she was trying to help me. My mom was actually trying to help me, and I know that now. But right then, at that moment, I was mad. So I got some morals about me, and I brought my kids back. I took them to school. You know, took them to school, dropped them off, said, I'll be back to pick you up. I came back to pick them up at 3 o'clock. The lady, the principal, and all them, they were standing there, and they was like, Bambi, you can't have your kids. And I was like, why not? Because I knew why not, but I don't know, I just had to ask. I said, why not? And they said, can you pass the drug test? And I was like, I've been smoking marijuana. I don't know why, but I could always admit to that. Like it's any better. I was just like, I've been smoking marijuana. And they said, well, when you can pass the drug test? I said, probably about 3 weeks. And now that I thought about it over the years, like I probably could have passed the drug. I hadn't even been smoking that much pot. You know what I'm saying? In my mind, I think I was giving myself a few weeks to party. And that's sad, ain't it? But that's what I think that I was doing. To try and get it in, I guess. Because I knew my dad had my kids. You know what I'm saying? Well, 3 weeks had passed, and I don't know exactly what happened in that 3 weeks, because I overdosed. And when I overdosed, this is the part I love to tell you about. Because this is the part that changed my whole life. This was the 8th overdose that I'd had. God brought me back from. I'd lost a whole lot of my memory, and I couldn't remember significant people in my life. Okay, I knew I had kids, but I didn't know where they were. And the chaplain of the church, But see, what I forgot to tell you is, almost a year to the date of my overdose, my grandmother had passed away. Okay? And I was laying there, they knocked a tooth out of my head, and I didn't appreciate that. I mean, they saved my life, but they beat me to death. I woke up and I had tubes hanging out of me, you know, tubes down my neck. I guess I'd been out for like 7 days. And they said, how do you feel? And I tell you what, I felt amazing. I felt brand new. Because I swear to you, as God is my witness right now, I believe that my grandma was sitting right beside God. And I believe she looked at him and said, take it from her. Right? Allow her to see her worth. Allow her to know that she can do this. Right? Remove it. And I tell you what, God's pretty cool. Because he did that. He did that. He allowed me to see clearly. And I didn't have any memory. And I didn't know anything. And you know what I mean? But I saw the clearest I've ever seen in my life. The chaplain of the hospital, he came in, he said, Bambi, you want to be saved? I said, yes. I didn't know why I said that. I've never said that before. I have volunteered to get baptized before because my granny wanted me to. Right? That's true. I went to the altar with her just because she wanted me to go. You know? I've done that. But then he came back in and he said, Bambi, you want to go to treatment? And I was like, yes, I do. And I couldn't believe that I said that either. Because I've never volunteered to go to treatment, no. So God had to be just like, Bambi. Right? He was talking through me in my voice. He's like, yes, she does. Had to be. It's the only way I know. So I went to treatment. I went to Recovery Works in London. I was a little out of sorts. You know what I'm saying? I was being laying in the hospital, and God's giving me these epiphanies. He's showing me things. He put me in there, and there was people that were in my life. It was people that, the very first person that OD'd me, my very first best friend in the 9th grade, she was puking and throwing up on herself and using the bathroom on herself. It was like God was showing me my life before my eyes while I was awake. You know what I'm saying? So I could get some of my memory back, and I'll never ever deny that. Never. He was showing me. Okay? I met my sponsor there. She didn't know I knew her, but God showed me her. Right? I went in there and I tried my very best. And I always had a connection with God. And this is the part that I have to tell everybody about because, like, I prayed every single night. I prayed every single day. God probably was like, please shut up. I've got other people to help. You know what I mean? But I was just like, dear Lord, what? I don't care if I was walking 3 feet to the left. You know, I was talking to him about it. You feel me? And I was down on my knees and I was praying into my Bible because it's pain that I felt. All I could really see was the pain. That's what God left me with. That's what he left me with. Hey, the pain of my dad, never ever pleasing my dad. I always wanted to make my dad happy, never could. You know what I'm saying? And the pain of my babies beating on the bathroom door. You know what I mean? They just bounding on it, beating on it. And me behind the door, yelling at them. You know, their little fingers, Mommy, come play with us. That's what I got, that's what I played in my head over and over and over and over. And me saying, can't I just get a minute? Can't I just get some me time, right? That's all I could remember. And my dad, oh, and I was down on my knees and I was praying in my Bible. And I looked down in my Bible and I saw Hebrews chapter 12. And I tell everybody about this because this, I feel like, was the moment God talked to me. He talked to me through this book. You know? I looked down, he said, it is for discipline that you have to endure. God is treating you as sons. He says, for what son whom his father does not discipline? Right? He said, I know right now that all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant. He said, but later it yields peaceful fruit to those who have been trained by it. Right? Amen. He said, therefore, lift your drooping hands and strengthen your weak knees. And he said, make straight paths with your feet so that I may bring you peace. Amen. What do you mean? God told me to get up, didn't he? He said to make straight paths with my feet. And he said he would bring me peace. Did he not? He didn't come talk to you. No, I didn't hear that. But he told me, Hebrews chapter 12, he said, get up Make straight paths with your feet so that I may bring you peace. So I got up, and I mean to tell you I was ready. Because I knew, you know what I mean? That was just confirmation that he had my back. Because that's just what I was talking to him about, wasn't it? Help me, it hurts. So I got up and I did whatever they asked me to do. I didn't care what they told me to do. I did it. Sometimes it wasn't fun, but I did it. I did 30 days at Recovery Works. They recommended me go to Sky Hope. It was a long-term treatment facility. I was okay with it. You know, I didn't really know much about it. I knew it was an extra long rehab. That's what I knew, right? But I knew I wanted recovery. I just didn't know how to get it, right? We all want to get sober. We just don't know how to do it. So I said, okay. I went over there. Sky Hope was a great program. They told me about myself. I did not appreciate it at all. Told me about all my character defects and whatnot. But it helped me. It helped me see what I need to work on, right? While I was there, my mama got sick with cancer. She wanted me to come home and help her. And like, oh man, like I can tell it now. But at this point, oh, it was so conflicting because I love my mom. You know, I've been through some stuff with my mom, but I love my mom. You know, I always run to save her. But I told my mom this time I can't come home to you. You know, and that was hard because this was the time she probably actually really needed me. She had cancer, you know what I mean? And I told her I can't do it this time because I never want to see that look on my baby's face again. That day and it, you know, I just don't want to see that again. I said, Mommy, I got to do this time. I got to, you know. And I said, I'll go and see you on the weekends, and I did. I went and see her on the weekends. Sometimes it was all right, sometimes it wasn't because I had to hand her pills and I didn't appreciate it. You know what I mean? I was just nervous about it. But I did that. I went through the program and completed it. My mom continued to see her health to get better, get worse, to get better, get worse. It's up and down. I did the peer mentor's office, and then I started working. I have a beef sponsor. I was working 2 jobs. And I was saving for a car, right? Had money in the bank. Supposed to get my car in 7 days. And I just want you to hear God in my story. I want you to know that He's all in it, okay? 7 days I was supposed to get my car. Very first car, very first insurance, you know what I mean? So I got that. They called me on the phone. Well, first off, I was calling the bank every 3 minutes because I'm an alcoholic and I'm mental obsessed about everything. And I wanted to hear my balance. Yeah. I was like, okay, let me hear it. And I knew what I had. You know what I mean? $1,500. You know what I'm saying? I called. I was ready to hear it, you know what I mean? They said negative $123. I was like, oh! You know what? Oh my gosh! I was on the phone with my sponsor 3 hours. Oh my gosh! Let's just go rob them, take it back. You know, I lost every bit of myself. Okay, lost it. Finally got tapped down out of that. Finally, I was in my room, my apartment at Sky Hope. One of the workers came in, told me they found my mother passed away in her apartment. 3 hours after that. Okay, so like. What? And here I am sober. Like, and that's my mom, and that's all my money, and I don't know what to do with myself. Right? So I get on the phone with my sponsor, I call, and this is God, man. This is God. Because my sponsor shows up and picks me up, and like all the people in the facility are super supportive and great like that, but I get down there, and here I'm the black sheep. I'm the criminal. Right? Get down there to the funeral home. I don't have a cent of money. They tell me, Bambi, you need at least this amount of money to even get started at your mom's funeral. Well, my sponsor gets on the phone, and guess what? Within 24 hours, my mama's funeral stuff's paid off. Wow. And that's God. That's from churches, that's from people in recovery, just all calling down there and donating to me, to my mom. Like, what do you mean? If I was high, I wouldn't have been able to front a pill, would I? They'd have been like, here comes Bambi up the driveway, lock the door. She's wanting a pill. Right? But God did that. And I know that night, I remember I was down on my knees and I I felt God and I felt the devil. You ever do that? The devil was laughing at me. He was like, she's not gonna pray tonight. It's too much. She's not gonna pray tonight. It's too much. You know what I mean? And what I do, I hit my knees.
That's right.
And I thanked God for allowing me to be sober, allowing me to be able to tell my children and be there for them. You know, be there for them while they cry. You know, and to actually be the one to have people to help me today, to help my family. And I thank them for that. You know, because that wasn't me before. That wasn't me. Went back to Sky Hope after a couple of days, got that took care of, went back to Sky Hope. You remember I was supposed to get my car in 7 days, right? I didn't have any money. On that 7th day, recovery, and the churches and God put every bit of that money back in the bank, and guess what? All but $2, and I probably had that in change. Honest to God, I went down there and bought my car on that 7th day. Amen. You know what I mean? That is God. If you ever try to tell me God don't exist, me and you are on friends ever. You can't convince me of it. That don't happen to people like me. That does not happen. I went down there and bought that car, about the insurance. You couldn't have told me nothing. Blessed. And then, you know, my main goal in all of this recovery thing was to get my babies back, right? Get a place, first get a car, get a place, get my kids, you know. Right after I got my car, the people I was working for, now one of the jobs I was working for, called me up and said, Bambi, we have an apartment for you. The mayor of Burnside wants to rent it to you. What do you mean? What? The mayor? They only kick me out of their towns, you know what I'm saying? They don't bring me to their humble abodes, you know what I'm saying? And it's above the police station. That is new. You hear me? That is a whole something else. And there's blue lights and all types of stuff, and I'm just like cooking, I don't even care. I'm not like, you know how it is. Everybody's after it, you know? Yeah, my blinds are in perfect condition. It's perfect. That's crazy, ain't it? That's God. And then, on top of that, I was supposed to get my kids back May the 26th. Alright? Social services called us. Actually, we was out shopping at Walmart. Yeah, we was out shopping. Social services called me up April the 20th, matter of fact, today of last year, called me up and said, we've decided to go ahead and give your kids back to you. Early. What? I've never heard that before in my life. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah! Because like, what? You know, this is what I've worked for. My babies came home and they got their rooms, you know what I'm saying? And they, and I get to do this. I get to do this for them. You know what I mean? Then God gave me a job. I went and applied for a job, and I didn't get the first job that I applied for, but He allowed me to get a job at Sky Hope, the place I graduated from. Well, I got to help people just like myself. You know what I'm saying? Help people just like me. And it was by the people that trained me. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't get away with nothing. They knew all my character defects, everything. They knew. As soon as I walked in, they was looking at my face. I had to walk in like I was paralyzed. So they wouldn't know nothing about me. But that was an amazing start. You know what I mean? That was an amazing start to life. And I was there about 8 months, and then God gave me another opportunity. Today I get to work for Lake Cumberland Recovery, where I'm the intake coordinator, and I get to put people in treatment right then and there. Right then and there, I get to say yes, yes. Amen. You know what I mean? Yes. There's not a paper process. It's not I have to fill out, find out your information, and send it down the way and pray that you get in treatment. I finally get to say, come on, we got a bed for you. Amen. You know what I mean? I get to help people just like myself. I get to take my kids to their ball games. You know what I mean? I get to listen to them argue about air. You know what I mean? I've never seen anybody argue about air, but my children will. Yeah? And today, as in living the midst of my children, what I do for them is I leave my bathroom door unlocked.
Amen.
I know it don't seem like much. They aggravate me to death because you know, what are you doing? People do in the bathroom. Leave me alone. But at the same time, it's like a blessing because they know that mommy's coming up out of there. They know there ain't no funny business going on in there. And mama's here. Every night I get to tuck them in bed. You know what I mean? My daughter wants me to rub her back. Lord have mercy. I don't know why I started that. But it's something I get to do today. God has blessed me over and over and over and over and over. And sometimes I don't know I don't even know if I can thank Him anymore. You know, they say you go to bed every night and you thank the Lord for everything that you have, because what if you only had the next day what you thanked Him for the night before? So I'm all night. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I have everything tomorrow. You know? God shows up in my life every single day, man. Amen. He helps me. He makes me feel like I am never alone ever again. And that's real. And it's such a beautiful blessing to know that you have somebody like that. You just have somebody. It don't matter what. He knows all my secrets. He knows my thoughts before I think them. And that's cool to me. Because I don't have to be nobody other than Bambi.
That's right.
I love you guys so much, and I thank God every day for allowing me to be able to do this. And I pray that you all have a great rest of your evening. Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you.